Imagine something with me for a moment. Picture that every single day is a fresh, untouched canvas, gleaming with possibility. And in your hand, you hold the brush. That brush, my friend, represents the choices you make. So, the question that truly matters is this: what masterpiece will you paint on the canvas of today? You see, every sunrise brings with it a golden opportunity for improvement. It's a chance to sharpen your skills, to refine your way of thinking, and to elevate your life to a level you've only dreamed of. But here's the secret. This kind of transformation doesn't happen by chance. It's not a lottery you win. It's a structure you build, a masterpiece you create. You have to be the one to make it happen. One of the most profound lessons I've ever learned in my life is this: success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines, practiced with unwavering consistency, every single day. On the flip side, failure is just as simple. It's merely a few small errors in judgment, repeated day in and day out. The vast chasm between triumph and defeat, between a life of fulfillment and one of regret, is carved out by the small, seemingly insignificant things you choose to do, or not to do, daily. It's not the earth-shattering, seismic shifts that define our lives. It's the little adjustments, the tiny course corrections, the incremental changes that we so often overlook. These are the choices that, compounded over time, make the most breathtaking difference. I've boiled this philosophy down to 10 fundamental areas of life that you must strive to improve every day. We're going to move through them with a sense of purpose, so we can get to the heart of designing the life you want. First and foremost, the very foundation upon which your life is built, your attitude. You must work on improving your attitude every single day. It's impossible to overstate how powerful your attitude is. If you improve it, even just a little each day, you will find that it revolutionizes everything. You might be thinking, Jim, it's just an attitude. It's just how I feel. But I'm here to tell you, it's so much more than that. Your attitude is the lens through which you see the world. It's the filter that colors your perception of problems, your approach to challenges, and your connection with every single person you meet. Think of your attitude as a powerful magnet. It either draws opportunities, joy, and wonderful people towards you, or it forcefully pushes them away. Have you ever been around someone who is perpetually negative? Someone who can find a cloud in every silver lining and complains endlessly, no matter how fortunate they are? Now, honestly ask yourself, how much success, how much genuine happiness do you think they attract with that kind of outlook? Probably not much. Their negative attitude creates an invisible, yet impenetrable, barrier to the very things they likely crave. Conversely, think about someone with a vibrant, positive attitude. They seem to attract opportunities like a magnet attracts steel. People want to be in their orbit. They want to work with them, collaborate with them, help them, and champion their success. So, if you commit to improving your attitude just a fraction each day, perhaps by consciously being a little more optimistic, a touch more patient, or more solution-oriented, you will discover that doors you never even knew existed will begin to swing open for you. Now, it's crucial to understand that your attitude doesn't change overnight. It's a slow, steady, and deliberate process. You improve it piece by piece, day by day. Maybe today, you focus on cultivating gratitude for the small things. Tomorrow, you might work on being more resilient in the face of a setback. The day after, you could challenge yourself to find solutions instead of dwelling on problems. Each day, you add another small, sturdy brick to the foundation of a better attitude. And before you know it, you've constructed something magnificent, something strong and enduring. I promise you, when your attitude improves, everything else in your life begins to rise with it. Your relationships, your career, your health, everything. Next, you must dedicate yourself to improving your communication skills every day. This is a monumental factor in the level of success you will achieve. Why? Because virtually everything you want in life involves communication. Whether you're nurturing a friendship, negotiating a business deal, leading a team, or simply connecting with your family, communication is the vital current that runs through it all. The better you are at it, the healthier your relationships will be, the more prosperous your business will become, and the greater your influence will be within your community. But let me clarify something important. Communication is not just about talking. In fact, some of the most masterful communicators I've ever met are people of few words. Their true skill lies in their ability to listen. They listen with profound attention, with genuine empathy. They listen not just to formulate a response, but to truly understand. You see, effective communication is a two-way street. It's about expressing your own ideas with clarity and conviction, and it's equally about receiving and understanding the ideas and feelings of others. You can improve this every single day. Perhaps today, you practice being a more present and attentive listener, putting your phone away and giving someone your undivided attention. Tomorrow, you could work on articulating your point of view assertively, but without aggression. The next day, you might focus on finding the right words to express a difficult emotion. With each passing day, you chip away at the rough edges of your communication style, sculpting yourself into someone people are not only willing to listen to, but are genuinely drawn to hear from. Herein lies the real power. When you communicate better, you influence more effectively. You lead with greater impact. You inspire others to take action and to believe in a shared vision. Think about it for a second. Have you ever had a significant misunderstanding with someone that stemmed from poor communication? Maybe you thought they meant one thing, but they intended something entirely different, and that small misinterpretation spiraled into a major problem. Now, imagine if you had improved your communication skills, even just slightly, leading up to that moment. How many of those misunderstandings could you have avoided? How many conflicts could you have resolved before they even began? How much more trust could you have built in your most important relationships? It's a powerful thought, isn't it? Our third daily commitment is to improve your self-discipline. This is absolutely crucial. Self-discipline is the sturdy bridge that connects your goals to your accomplishments. It's that inner strength that allows you to keep going when you don't feel like it, to push through resistance, to do what needs to be done even when it's difficult or uncomfortable. And let me be perfectly clear, without self-discipline, meaningful, long-term success is impossible. You could have the most ambitious goals in the world, the most brilliant and innovative ideas, and all the natural talent you could ever ask for. But if you lack the discipline to follow through, to execute, to see things to completion, none of it matters. Think of self-discipline as a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes, and you can strengthen it a little bit every single day. Maybe today, you discipline yourself to wake up just 15 minutes earlier to read or plan your day. Tomorrow, you discipline yourself to go for that walk or workout, even when your couch is calling your name. The next day, you discipline yourself to stay focused on a single, important task without succumbing to the siren song of distractions. Each of these small acts of discipline might seem insignificant on its own, but when you string them together day after day, they compound to create massive, life-altering results. Here's another way to think about it. Self-discipline isn't just about raw willpower. It's about strategically building habits that support your goals. When you turn a desired action into a habit, it no longer requires the same amount of conscious effort or discipline. It becomes automatic. So, a key part of improving your self-discipline is the intentional creation of empowering routines. For example, if you build the habit of reading 10 pages of a good book every night before you sleep, you no longer have to rely on sheer willpower to learn and grow. The habit takes over, and your discipline in that area becomes almost effortless. I once knew a young man who was bursting with talent. He had all the potential in the world, but he was crippled by a lack of discipline. He would launch into new projects with incredible enthusiasm, but his fire would quickly fizzle out. He'd get distracted by the next shiny object, the next exciting idea, and abandon his previous commitment. As a result, he was in a constant state of starting, but never finishing, never making any real, tangible progress. One afternoon, I sat down with him. I said, "You have to work on your discipline. You must train yourself to stick with something until it is done, even when it's hard, even when it's boring, even when you don't feel like it." And you know what? He took that advice to heart. He started small, just as I've described, focusing on finishing one tiny project at a time. Over months and years, he developed the muscle of discipline, allowing him to follow through on the big, important things. Today, he is incredibly successful, and he will be the first to tell you that developing self-discipline was the key that unlocked it all. This leads us to our mindset, which we must also improve daily. A powerful way to do this is by actively challenging your limiting beliefs. So many of us are held captive, not by our external circumstances, but by the stories we tell ourselves about who we are and what we're capable of. We think we can't do something because we've never done it before, or because someone, somewhere along the line, told us we weren't good enough. But these beliefs are just thoughts, and thoughts can be changed. So, each day, make a conscious effort to identify and replace these limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Instead of thinking, "I can't do this," shift your internal monologue to, "I am in the process of learning how to do this." Instead of the despairing thought, "I'll never be successful," reframe it as, "I am on the path to success, taking it one step at a time." Each day that you improve your mindset, even just a little, you'll find that your entire outlook on life begins to transform. I remember a man who was deeply mired in a negative mindset. He was constantly focused on the worst-case scenario. He saw every obstacle as an insurmountable wall, every failure as a final verdict on his worth. As a result, he was stuck, spinning his wheels in the mud of his own negativity. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't seem to move forward. I shared with him this simple idea. You have to work on your mindset. You must shift your focus from what's wrong to what's possible. He took that advice seriously. He started small, reading a few pages of an uplifting book each morning, practicing gratitude each night, and slowly, deliberately, shifting his focus from problems to solutions. Over time, his mindset underwent a profound transformation, and as his mindset changed, so did his life. He became more confident, more resilient, and ultimately, far more successful. It all began with the simple, daily practice of improving his mindset. Next, we have to talk about time management. We must pay close attention to time. It is the one great equalizer. It's the one resource that every single one of us has in the exact same amount. But how we choose to use it makes all the difference in the world. Time is a precious, non-renewable resource. Once a moment is gone, it's gone forever. You can never get it back. So, if you want to achieve great things in your life, you have to become a master of your time. The good news is that time management is a skill, and like any skill, it's something you can improve every day. Maybe today, you work on setting crystal clear priorities for your day. Tomorrow, you might focus on identifying and eliminating your biggest time-wasting distractions. The next day, you could practice saying no to requests that don't align with your highest goals. Each small improvement in how you manage your time compounds, and before you know it, you're achieving more in less time, and most importantly, you're focusing your precious energy on the things that truly matter. Ask yourself this: how often do you find yourself busy, but not productive? How often do you spend your day reacting to urgent but unimportant demands, while the truly important tasks get pushed to the side? Being busy is not the same as being productive. That's why improving your time management is so critical. It's about doing the right things at the right time in the right way. One of the most effective strategies for improving your time management is to start each day with a plan. Take just a few minutes every morning to map out your priorities. What are the most vital things you need to accomplish today? What tasks can you delegate or eliminate altogether? And here's a crucial addition: don't just plan your work, plan your rest. Rest is just as important as action. If you don't take time to recharge your batteries, you will inevitably burn out. A wise approach to time management includes both focused productivity and intentional rejuvenation. I've worked with countless people over the years who have struggled with managing their time. They tell me, "Jim, I just don't have enough time to get everything done." And my response is always the same: you have exactly the same amount of time as everyone else. It's not about having more time, it's about using the time you have more effectively. If you want to improve your life, start by improving how you manage your time. It's a daily practice, and with each day that you get a little better at it, you'll find that your life starts to flow with more ease and purpose. Flowing naturally from this is our next daily imperative. You must build and improve your knowledge. I'm telling you, the world is in a constant state of change. If you're not learning, you're falling behind. The more you know, the more you can do. The more you can do, the more value you can bring to the world and the marketplace. And the more value you bring, the more rewards you will receive in every area of your life. So, if you want to stay ahead of the curve, you must commit to improving your knowledge every single day. How do you do that? It's simple: read, listen, observe, and study. Every day, make a commitment to learn something new. Maybe today, you read an article related to your industry. Tomorrow, you listen to an insightful podcast or seminar on personal development. The next day, you enroll in an online course to acquire a new skill. Each small investment in your learning compounds over time. You'll find yourself becoming more knowledgeable, more skilled, and more prepared for whatever opportunities or challenges life throws your way. Here's a powerful truth: your formal education might make you a living, but your self-education will make you a fortune. The most successful and fulfilled people in the world are lifelong learners. They never stop improving their knowledge because they understand that the more they learn, the more they can achieve, and the more they can contribute. My great mentor, Mr. Schoaf, was one of the wisest men I've ever met. He didn't become that way by accident. He became that way by dedicating himself to learning something new every single day. He once told me, "Jim, the more you learn, the more you earn." I took that lesson to heart. I began reading voraciously, listening to audio programs, attending seminars, anything I could do to expand my knowledge. And you know what? Mr. Schoaf was absolutely right. The more I learned, the more opportunities seemed to find their way to me. The same will be true for you. Next, there is never a good day to neglect your finances. Your financial situation is not something that just happens to you. It's something you actively create through your daily habits and decisions. And just like any other area of your life, it requires daily attention and consistent improvement. Whether you're working to get out of debt, build wealth for the future, or simply create a greater sense of financial security, the journey begins with making small, consistent improvements every single day. The unfortunate truth is that most people don't really understand money. They know how to earn it, but they have no idea how to manage it, grow it, and put it to work for them. As a result, they often find themselves in a constant state of financial stress, no matter how much money they make. But here's the good news. You can improve your financial literacy and your financial situation a little bit each day. Maybe today, you start by simply tracking your expenses to gain clarity on where your money is actually going. Tomorrow, you could create a simple budget to ensure you're living within your means. The day after that, you could set up an automatic transfer to move a small percentage of your income into a savings or investment account. Each of these small, intelligent steps adds up. Before you know it, you'll feel a sense of control over your finances, and you'll see them begin to grow. I'm telling you, it's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you keep and put to work. Some people earn a great deal of money, but they spend it just as quickly. They live paycheck to paycheck, perpetually on the brink of financial trouble. But there are others who may earn less, but are able to save, invest, and build lasting wealth because they have learned and applied the fundamental principles of financial management. And these principles can be learned by anyone. You don't need to be a financial wizard to improve your finances. You just need to make a series of small, smart decisions every day. One of the most powerful pieces of financial advice I ever received was this: spend less than you earn and invest the difference. It sounds deceptively simple, but it is a profoundly powerful principle. If you live by that rule every day, your financial future will be bright and secure. But it requires discipline. It requires the willingness to delay gratification. It requires you to say no to unnecessary expenses today so that you can say yes to financial freedom tomorrow. This is something you can improve every day. Your ability to make wise financial decisions, to manage your money with intention, and to invest in the future you desire. Have you ever looked at your bank statement in bewilderment and wondered, where did all my money go? That's a clear signal that it's time to start improving your financial habits. It's time to take control of your money instead of letting it control you. And it doesn't require a massive overhaul, just small, consistent, daily improvements. Finally, all of this culminates in the concept of personal development. Here's the key: life is synonymous with growth. If you're not growing, you're stagnating. And in a world that is constantly moving forward, if you're standing still, you're actually falling behind. So, every single day, you must work on becoming a better version of yourself. This isn't about chasing an impossible standard of perfection. It's about committing to continuous progress. It's about constantly and consciously improving who you are, how you think, and what you do. Personal development is a lifelong journey, and it's one you simply can't afford to neglect. Maybe today, you work on enhancing yourself, awareness, understanding your strengths, your weaknesses, your habits, and your emotional triggers. Tomorrow, you might focus on developing a new skill, something that will not only enrich you as a person, but will also make you more valuable in your career. The journey of personal development is the ultimate adventure, and it's the thread that ties all these other principles together. It's the daily commitment to being a little better today than you were yesterday. The next day, you might focus on improving your emotional intelligence, learning to understand and manage your own emotions, so you can relate more deeply and authentically to others. Each of these small, deliberate improvements contributes to your overall growth, like an artist adding careful, thoughtful brushstrokes to a masterpiece. Over time, you'll look back and realize, with a sense of profound satisfaction, that you've become the person you always knew you could be. One of the most powerful things you can do for your personal development is to set clear, specific goals that genuinely challenge you to grow. But here's the key, the part that makes all the difference. Those goals must be deeply and authentically aligned with your core values, your passions, and your overarching purpose. You see, this journey isn't just about achieving more. It's about becoming more. It's about forging yourself into the kind of person who is capable of achieving those goals. And that transformation is something you can work on, with intention, every single day. Maybe today, you set a small, manageable goal to read one chapter of a personal development book that truly speaks to you. Tomorrow, you might set a goal to practice a new, positive habit for just 10 minutes. The next day, you could set a goal to pause and reflect on your progress, adjusting your course with the wisdom you've gained. Each of these small actions moves you forward on your journey of personal growth, creating a momentum that builds on itself. Now, here's something incredibly important to understand. Personal development isn't just about learning new things. It's also about having the courage to unlearn the things that no longer serve you. Sometimes, in order to grow, you have to be willing to let go of old habits, limiting beliefs, and outdated ways of thinking that are holding you back. It's like clearing out a cluttered room to make space for something new and beautiful. That's why personal development is an ongoing, dynamic process. You're constantly learning, growing, and evolving. And the more you commit to that beautiful process, the more you'll find that your life improves in every single area. One of the most powerful lessons I've ever learned about personal development is this: you attract what you become. It's a fundamental law of life. If you want to attract success, you must first become a person of successful habits, successful thinking, and successful actions. If you want to attract great, loving relationships, you must first become the kind of person who is worthy of those relationships, someone who is kind, compassionate, and trustworthy. If you want to attract abundance, you must first develop an abundant mindset, seeing opportunity and possibility where others see only lack. And that is something you can work on every single day. You can become more disciplined, more focused, more positive, and more successful by improving yourself, just a little bit, each day. Next, let's talk about your purpose. This one is so incredibly important. Purpose gives your life direction. It's your North Star. It's the fundamental reason you get up in the morning, the deep, inner fire that drives you to keep going, even when things get tough. And here's the key: you have to work on your purpose every day. You have to constantly refine it, deepen your understanding of it, and live it out in everything you do. Now, some people will say, "Jim, I don't know what my purpose is." And that's perfectly okay. Purpose isn't something you find all at once, like a lost set of keys. It's something you discover and develop over time, through experience, reflection, and action. And you can improve your connection to it a little bit every day. Maybe today, you spend some quiet time reflecting on what's truly, deeply important to you. Tomorrow, you might take one small, courageous step in the direction of a long-held dream. The next day, you can consciously align your daily actions with your most cherished values. Each day, you make progress toward living a life of purpose, and before you know it, you'll find that your purpose becomes clearer, stronger, and more profoundly fulfilling. Here's the thing: when you live with purpose, everything else in your life begins to fall into place. Your work becomes more meaningful, your relationships become deeper and more authentic. Your challenges transform from insurmountable obstacles into opportunities for growth. Purpose is the solid foundation on which a truly fulfilling life is built, and it's a foundation you can strengthen every single day. I once met a man who had everything the world tells us to want: money, success, fame, but he was deeply, profoundly unhappy. He couldn't figure out why. One day, we had a long conversation, and I asked him, "What's your purpose? What's the reason you're doing all of this?" He couldn't answer. He had spent so much time and energy chasing success that he had completely lost sight of why he wanted it in the first place. I told him, "You've got to find your purpose, and then you've got to live it every single day." He took that advice to heart. He began to focus on what truly mattered to him: helping others, making a genuine difference, and living a life of significance, not just success. And you know what happened. His entire life changed. He found a sense of happiness, fulfillment, and a deep inner peace that he had never experienced before. It all started with the daily practice of living with purpose. Next, one of the most important things you can work on every day is being grateful. Gratefulness is one of the most powerful emotions you can cultivate, and it has the ability to transform your life in ways you can't even imagine. You see, when you focus on what you're grateful for, you shift your attention away from what's missing in your life and toward the good that is already present. And when you do that, you begin to attract more good into your life. Being grateful is a simple practice you can weave into your daily routine, and it doesn't take much time. Maybe today, you take a moment to truly appreciate the people in your life who support you. Tomorrow, you might focus on the small blessings you often take for granted: your health, your home, your job. The next day, you could even show a little gratitude for the challenges that have helped you grow stronger. When you're grateful, your mindset shifts from one of scarcity to one of abundance. Over time, you'll find that your entire outlook on life changes. Tell me, have you ever had a bad day where everything seemed to go wrong? We've all been there. But here's the secret: even on those days, there's always something to be grateful for. Maybe it's the lesson you learned from a mistake. Maybe it's the strength you gained from overcoming a challenge. When you focus on being grateful, even the tough times become valuable.